Hi guys, so today I wanted to do a video that I felt the Lord pressing on my spirit to share this morning. Um, yeah, so I feel that on my channel I'm moving away from talking about safety, like feeling safe in my videos, to kind of talking more about like the enemy and like spiritual warfare and just ways that I've noticed He has worked in my life. So I kind of sense that kind of transition happening. But yeah, so I have been kind of ending that series on my channel of like safety and feeling safe. There's still a few more video ideas on my phone that I might film at some point, but they've just been ideas that have come to me. I haven't felt like strongly like led in the moment to like speak on those topics. Of course, those ideas, a lot of them came when I was like not sitting in my room near my laptop. So, but I might end up filming those a little bit later. But I just want to recommend that you check out the video I made on my channel of, I believe it's called Peace in His Presence and Resting Him. I believe it's what it's called. Now, what I talk about in that video has been really huge for me and feeling a sense of safety. Uh, it's probably one of the biggest things in that video as far as kind of just what I share and kind of this practice in a sense that I started engaging in that has really decreased my anxiety considerably, helped me to be able to relax and have a space to relax. Uh, Whereas, like, I was in fight or flight all the time, I had such a hard time with that. So, that is also right now probably one of the last videos I have in my safety slash feeling safe series that I've been doing on my channel. But all the videos that I've posted kind of like have helped contribute to decreasing anxiety, helping me with fight or flight, and just helping me feel safe and having more peace in my life in general. So all of them kind of relate to that, other than like the spontaneous ones that I feel the Lord leading me to post where I'm like talking to you guys. Um, but yeah, I want to encourage you to check out that video personally because yeah, it's one of the biggest things that has helped me in my life when it has come to like feeling safe and all those things. So I wanted to get into a topic that this is really just something that I have felt the Lord pressing on my heart to speak about a little bit more. But I just want to preface this by saying I am going to be getting into some things that I experienced in the past, some things that I went through in my life. I always say I'm going to make a video like talking about that, but I think this is actually one of the videos that I'm going to make. But I want to just put like a trigger warning in here. Not because I'm going to be talking about anything like super graphic, but just in case me mentioning anything, me mentioning suicidal thoughts, me mentioning what those thoughts were, just in case it triggers anything for anyone, I want to make sure I mention that trigger warning. Also, because I am someone that in the past, when I would hear different things people were going through, it would kind of trigger thoughts from me. So I just want to put the trigger warning in there. So I don't know how this video is going to go. I hope it doesn't sound too scrambled, but um, today I'm really going to talk about how the enemy worked in my life regarding like really mental battles that I had dealt with for so long, things that I had gone through for years that like I believe are really spiritual attacks. And I want to get into that because for so long I didn't know it was spiritual. But I want to talk about how clever the enemy is in all the ways that he attacked. Just because, he really tormented me for a long time, and I don't know if any one of you are going through this, but so I've talked about this briefly, semi-briefly on my channel, but I'm going to go a little bit more in depth, into my story and things like that. So I really hope this can be helpful for any of you. And I really hope it can just give you some sense of hope if you are struggling, if you are hurting, if you can resonate with anything that I talk about or anything that I've been through. And I really hope this video sets you free if you are dealing with any of the thoughts that I have ever dealt with, or any of the struggles or battles. I really hope that this video can set you free. And even if it's not an immediate thing, like for me, I struggled with things for years before I reached this point in my life. But sometimes I wonder if I would have realized this, if I would have experienced that freedom sooner, and really being able to see into kind of, I believe, what was really going on. So, here we go. So, my whole life, or a lot of my life, there has always been this disconnect that I have felt within myself. So by that, I feel like it got worse as I got older, but for me it was like there are all these things that I wanted to do, all these things I wanted to accomplish in my life, yet I struggled with like crippling, what mimicked depression. Like I struggled with that severely for years. I would have times where I would have some energy to actually get out of bed. I would have some times where I felt hopeful or joyful or even optimistic. But I would have a lot of times where I'd just be crippled with like self doubt, and it's like my mood would just crash to the ground, and I just I felt like I was experiencing a depression because that's what I was told I was dealing with. So yeah, there just for a long time it felt like there was just this disconnect within me. I almost felt like two different people sometimes. I felt like this person that was really dark and really sad and really struggled with like self-hatred and just different things. And then other days I wouldn't feel like that person, and I would actually have some confidence, and I would feel like myself. I would feel like myself was like at the forefront of my mind, like controlling my mood, controlling like how I felt. I feel like this isn't going to make a lot of sense, but hopefully it makes sense. When that depression would come, I would feel like this darker part of my mind would just take over. That's what it felt like. And a lot of times I would find myself just, I would, I would feel really bad, and I would wake up in the morning. I mean, I would have just like really dark thoughts, but then I'd wake up in the morning and I would like feel like myself again. So, rewinding back to times in my life, when I was 14, I started hearing voices telling me to hurt myself, telling me to kill myself, and just insulting me like all the time. That went on from 14 years old to 19 years old, so basically my whole like teenage time in my life, and then part of college was like sucked up by all of that stuff. So that went on for quite a few years. Now, I'm not going to get into my full story or full testimony or anything like that, because I mean, it would be very, very long, but hopefully at some point I will. But I was just very much struggling, very, very, like, hard. Like, I was struggling very hard. Like, I can't seem to think of words right now, but things were just very difficult. Um, I remember when I was, I think I was 15 or 16. I remember I had a birthday, and I remember I was so sad, and I was struggling so much, and I remember thinking, like I'm not gonna make it to my next birthday. I thought, I thought I would have already killed myself by then, but at that point, I was like, I'm not gonna make it to like my next birthday. Like, this is the year that I'm finally gonna do it. I felt that way for so long, probably leading up to like 19 years old, but even after that, like I struggled with suicidal thoughts. But like I felt like that for so long. I felt like that's all my life would ever be. And it was so hard for me to like hold on. So here I was struggling with all these things. I couldn't see any purpose for my life. I didn't even think I would get through all that because it feels like you can't. Like, it feels like your strength is just gone, and it feels like you don't know how to take another step, and just all this pain is overwhelming you, and all this sadness is consuming you, and even like numbness, where you feel numb, and you feel like it doesn't matter if I'm here or not. I struggled immensely with like shame and just very, very deep sadness for a long time. I didn't think I could ever be happy. I didn't think I could ever make it to this point in my life. I just turned 26, so I didn't ever believe that I could make it to my 20s, let alone like practically my mid 20s. When I was around 18 or 19, I was trying to work while all this was happening, and I would be at my job, and there would be this voice that would like surface in my mind, and it would tell me, why don't you go grab that knife and cut yourself? And like at the same time, what started happening is there was like an image or like a scene that would like play out in my mind while that voice was telling me to do that. It got to the point where I just, like I didn't know if I was gonna act on those thoughts because I felt so sad all the time. But I felt like it couldn't make everything stop. It felt like my mind had slipped completely out of my control. It felt like it'd just been taken over. And I was having all these thoughts. I was having all these thoughts that weren't mine. But I didn't realize it at the time because you feel like they're your thoughts because they're coming up in your mind. Probably one of the worst thoughts that I had that just was, it's kind of hard for me to talk about. There's a lot of shame I feel around it. But I remember one day I was at work and I had this thought of, I just want to plunge a knife into my stomach. In that moment, it felt like that was my thought. It felt like that's, I really wanted to hurt myself. I hated myself. I had no ounce of kindness or compassion or love for myself whatsoever. Like, obviously, you can tell it's hard for me to talk about these things. But, here's the thing. I thought all those feelings, all those thoughts were mine. Because I felt like I really felt like that. I felt like I really felt like that toward myself. I felt like I really wanted to hurt myself. I felt like I really, you know, I felt like I didn't deserve to exist. I felt like a horrible person. Um, because all those things felt so strong, because, I was having those thoughts were coming up in my mind. They felt like mine. They felt like how I really felt about myself. They felt like the truth. Me wanting to kill myself, me feeling like there was no way out, things would never get better, all of that, they felt like my thoughts. They felt like how I really felt, and that's what I want anyone to understand. Whether you can relate to like these kind of thoughts or just simply critical negative ones about yourself, whatever you're dealing with, I want you to understand like those thoughts and those feelings feel so strong and they feel so real and they feel so true. And I felt like they were the truth for so long, and I felt like they were real. I felt like that was how I really felt about myself. But they weren't my thoughts. They weren't how I really felt about myself. They weren't my thoughts toward myself. And any one of you hearing this is what I want you to understand more than anything. if you are having any of those thoughts, I want you to understand they're not yours. Whether you see it as the enemy planting those thoughts or depression, please understand they're not your thoughts. They're not how you really feel, even if that's how you feel like you feel. Even if you feel so sad all the time, even if you feel like you're in so much pain and don't want to be here anymore, please understand those aren't thoughts. Please understand that. And please understand that whatever thoughts your mind is feeding you, whether it's trying to tell you things are hopeless, or you can't get out of this, or you're never going to feel better, the pain's never going to end, please understand that that's not the truth. Even if you can't see it, even if everything is just completely dark, even if everything is completely pitch black, you can't see anything, please understand. Those are not your thoughts. And that is not the truth. What I didn't understand for so long, and I believe like this is true for a lot of people, but it was definitely true in my life. What I didn't understand for so long was the enemy did so many ways to attack. He did so many things to attack. Try not to lose my train of thought, but it's going all over the place. He did so many things to, and this is, really what he was trying to do, and I believe he tries to do when he tries to put these thoughts in your mind and makes you feel this way. But really what the enemy was trying to do for so long is he was trying to knock me out of the purpose that God has put within me. And I talk a lot about that on my channel, but he tries to tell you that you're not here for a reason. There's no purpose for your life. How do you think you're going to do anything with your life when you're struggling in this way? You're never going to get out of this. Things are hopeless. You should just give up. Aren't you in so much pain? This is the kind of way that the enemy talks. Through those thoughts and through those feelings of despair that he tries to make you fall into, through those feelings of hopelessness. In some ways, he will try to attack any way he can. He will say anything he can just to make you feel bad, to try to make you feel like you'll never amount to anything. I'm going to give some examples in my life of the kind of thoughts he would put in my mind to try to make me give up. In those moments when I felt such immense despair and hopelessness, and I felt like I was in so much pain, and I felt so exhausted from fighting for my life, like to wake up every morning and fight these thoughts, fight these feelings all the time, on top of like the experiences that I have been through in my life, right? When we go through different experiences, different trauma, and it's painful, and we've been affected by it, and we're carrying a lot of pain from it. The enemy would, you know, put thoughts in my mind of that I'm a burden, that certain people don't even want to be around me, that no one gives a blank about me, because a lot of times that is the word that will come up a lot, that no one loves me, that no one would ever love me. He would try to get me to look at, the fact that there were times in my life where I didn't really have any friends, or when people leave your life, he would try to get me to look at, that I just bring everyone down, that I'm wrong for existing. And a lot of times what I find that he'll try to get you to look at the pain in your life, whether it's present pain that is happening or like past pain. But he'll try to get you to look at like how you were treated by people that were significant in your life, people that hurt you, people that abused you in some way. He'll try to get you to look at all that, and he'll try to get you to look at like all the things wrong in your life. I mean, for me, even the fact that like with everything I was struggling with school and things like that, and he'll just try to make you look at all those things in your life. He'll try to make you feel like everything's not going to be okay. He'll try to make you feel like everything just feels unbearable, that there's no way out of this. He'll use past anxieties and past experiences and things that have happened in your life to try to like create anxiety that will remind you of past experiences, and that'll just like cause more pain. He'll try to do so many things. The Bible talks about the enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. The enemy doesn't want anything good for you. Satan doesn't want anything good for you. I mean, in some cases we could say like the enemy just wants to destroy you. He comes to steal, kill, and destroy. What I believe one of the biggest things that the enemy tries to do is he wants to knock you out of the purpose that God has put within you. He wants to speak all these lies, put all these thoughts in your mind, can make certain thoughts and feelings feel so strong and so intense. But he wants to knock you out of that purpose. Because you are here for a reason, even if that feels like the furthest thing from the truth. There's a reason you're here. There's a purpose for your existence. I mean, even the very things that you may be going through right now could be a testimony of what God has brought you through, could literally help someone else that may be going through similar things. But one day, when you're out of that, you'll be able to help someone else through those experiences. So even those very experiences that you may be going through right now, or that you've been through in your life, like, could literally be used to help someone. And I hope it shows that really, truly, there is a reason you're here. There is a purpose for your life. The enemy will try to make you feel like that's the furthest thing from the truth. But he's a liar. And Jesus talks about how he's the father of lies. but as someone that the enemy tried to make me feel that way for so long, put certain thoughts in my mind for so long, and wanted to give up for so long, and never thought that there could be any purpose for my life whatsoever. Or if God really wanted to bring healing and restoration to my life, or I really wouldn't be this completely broken person my whole life. When everything just started to shift in my life and I had been through different experiences and it felt like my whole life had just been turned upside down and had changed in the blink of an eye. Or even things that had been building up and accumulating over years of my life that finally hit a point where I felt like I was just drowning. But what I didn't understand for a long time was it was the enemy working in all those ways, trying to knock me out of the purpose of my life that God has put within me. That was his agenda. And he did that in many ways. He also will do that through knocking down your confidence, using different people in your life to just hurt you, tear you down, etc. The Bible talks about we wrestle not against flesh and blood in the book of Ephesians, but against principalities. I want you to understand that there's a reason you're here. I want you to understand that, even if it feels like the hardest thing to believe. I didn't believe that for so long. And I wanted to give up for so many years. And I struggled with different things. I did end up struggling with hurting myself. I did end up trying to hurt myself or kill myself at times in my life. I did have years where I thought countlessly about, not having to be here anymore. That if I just give in, all this pain will end, everything will just stop. And I'm sorry if anyone is going through this, like that breaks my heart in pieces. If anyone is going through this, it really does. I wish I could take away all of your pain that you may be feeling. And I hope that something I say in any of my videos can help you in some way. Because I remember how hard it was to struggle in those ways. The enemy wants to knock you out of this. He sees your value when we can't even see it in ourselves. But he sees that value. He sees who you really are. The Lord sees who you really are. The Lord sees everything you've been created to be. To the Lord, we're so highly valued. We're loved. We're fearfully and wonderfully made. There's certain abilities He's put within each and every one of us, unique abilities to help people, to lead people to Christ and to glorify Him. It's the last thing the enemy wants. The enemy doesn't want anything good for you, but God, He wants to bring good into your situation. He wants to bring light into your darkness. He wants to bring peace into the chaos crashing around you, or that feels like it's crashing down on top of you. He wants to bring love to the pieces of you that feel broken and shattered in a million pieces beyond healing, when you just feel completely broken. He wants to love you in the midst of your deepest pain. And I want you to understand that. Like right now, if you're dealing with all this, I want you to understand the Lord, He wants to love you. He wants to embrace you in the midst of this, to hold you. You feel like you don't know how you're going to make it. I want you to understand, He wants to bring good into your life. He wants to bring light. He wants to bring strength. The enemy doesn't want that for you. The enemy doesn't want anything good for you, and he doesn't want you coming to God. I can't say for sure, but the enemy might even be the one that has caused all this pain in your life. But he's the one that's been putting those thoughts in your mind and those feelings. It feels like he's constantly attacking sometimes, but he's the one that wants to knock you out of your purpose and from coming to God. Or God wants to bring restoration to your heart and your mind and your situation. And if you look at me, I'm living, breathing proof of that. And that's something I never thought I would be able to say, because I was once so broken. There was labels put on. There was a disconnect I felt for a long time between that person that I really am / how God saw me and who God created me to be and the things He put within me, and the way I learned to see myself, by things that people had said, through different experiences I had been through the way I learned to see myself, through the lies the enemy would speak to me. I want you to understand the Lord, He wants to bring you home to that person that was once happy, that person that was once full of joy, that person that He created you to be, that's yourself, walking in confidence, walking in freedom, walking knowing you are loved beyond comprehension. I want you to understand the reason those thoughts are happening. If your life has been like mine, or your story is similar to mine, the reason those thoughts, you're dealing with those thoughts is because the enemy, he's trying to knock you out of your purpose. There is a purpose for your life. Make no mistake. I want you to understand those thoughts aren't really your own. Even if the pain feels so intense, and if you're looking for the pain to stop, you don't have to leave this earth to get it to cease. Hope is found in Jesus. I want you to understand that you are so highly valued. You're loved. You're a beautiful, wonderful person who we need in this world. You're wanted. You're special. There is a purpose only you can fulfill. Your life has meaning and is significant. I want you to understand if you feel like you can't go on, if all you feel is pain, I want you to know that Jesus' arms are open wide to you, to embrace you, to love you, and show you his love, no matter how anyone has treated you in your life. My prayer is that if anyone can relate to this video, if anyone's struggling, that you would keep going, that you would not give up, that you would know truly deep down, no matter the lies that your mind tries to tell you, that so that your story's not over, that you don't walk alone. And although I've still seen attacks of the enemy, I don't deal with the torment and despair that I used to. I don't deal with some of the things that I used to. Yes, did it take time for certain things to heal? Yeah, because there's a lot of pain. But God has done that in my life. And He wants to provide healing to you too. But after going through that, I can understand when the enemy is trying to attack. And I have become stronger. And I get to come on here. If there's anyone that is struggling, I get to come on here and talk to you guys. And had I given up, I would be sitting here. I never could imagine that I could make any difference for it. Let alone that anyone, would watch my videos, subscribe to me, that I could even overcome that stuff from my past. And I had so much shame that I lived in. I want you to know, if you're struggling with anything like that, that there is no reason for you to be ashamed. But I want you to know that those feelings, those thoughts that you were feeling, they're lies. No matter how much your mind tries to make you feel like they're not lies, I want you to know that they're lies. They're not the truth. They're not the truth of everything your life could be. They're not the truth of who you are. I want you to understand there's a great purpose for your life, a reason for your existence. The enemy wants to attack that and put obstacles to try to make sure you never reach that point in life. I want you to know those lies he speaks, they're not the reality. I want you to know you're so loved. I hope if you don't feel that from anywhere in your life, that when you come to this channel, that you do feel that. You feel that there is someone out there that loves you and cares. So, thank you so much, guys, for watching. I really hope that just any video that you watch of mine, it encourages you to keep going. I don't want anything to happen to anyone. I don't know if anyone is dealing with any of these kind of thoughts or feeling suicidal. I don't know. I have just felt the Lord speak on it. It is a part of my life, so it is something I felt led to speak on in my life at some point. But I don't know if it's because any of you are going through this, but my prayer is that with any of these videos you watch, or me reminding you that I love you, I care about you, that if any of you has ever felt like giving up, that it just would completely take away those thoughts, those feelings that feel so strong and intense sometimes, that just completely take them away, make them disappear. That you guys would keep going. But that you guys too would feel rest in the midst of what you're experiencing. But that you would know that that point of your life where you don't struggle with those things anymore, where you look back at your life and realize you've made it through months of your life, wanted to give up, but you haven't. I hope you know that that point is possible. And I don't know the words to say sometimes, but I care about all of you. I can't seem to speak words today. I care about all of you so much. And if any of you are feeling suicidal, I encourage you, please talk to someone. Talk to someone that you trust. Please just hear my words, and please don't do anything. Please don't hurt yourself in any way. including beating yourself down. You deserve it in a way. Your life matters so much. So precious. So I hope something that I say can help. If you are struggling, that you hear my story, and that if I have gone through all that, God has sustained me through all that. God has brought me to this point that it is possible for you too. And that's why I share everything that I do, because I want to share everything God has ministered to me and that I have noticed throughout my life, and everything that has helped me get to this point, everything that's brought me comfort, encouraged me, spoke to me in my own life, in the hopes that it can do the same for you guys. So thank you, every single one of you, so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I love every single one of you. I hope you guys are having a good day. And I love you. Thank you so much for watching. God bless you.